everybody. Welcome to the Vibrant Life podcast. I'm Sarah Nolan, an energy management and burnout prevention consultant. And in this week's series, we're talking about stress management systems for high achievers. And if you are stressed right now, or if you feel like you have this pattern of being stressed, like every day you feel significant stress in your life, or you feel like stress is affecting the quality of your life, then just let me know in the comments and let me know if you have a way of working on that, or if there's something that you've been looking for, then just let me know. Yesterday, we talked about why it's so important to address stress. And we talked about how stress really is the root of all of our issues that all has to do with stress, whether it's with your health, with your business, with your job, with your parenting, with your marriage. It all has to do with stress. So you can take all the vitamins, you can change your diet, you can exercise a different way, but if you still have that underlying stress, then it's only going to work so well, and if it works at all, because it's always important to really get to the root of the issue. And it goes even beyond stress. There is a root to the stress, and that is one of the biggest things that people achieve in Recharge, my 12-week program, that my clients go through this process of reconnecting, reprogramming, and re-energizing their lives through this 3-step process over 12 weeks that really gets to the root of their stress. And an insight that I had when I was working on my stress, I had a health scare. And I realized through this health scare and trying to fix it, that holy crap, I was really stressed out. And I was so used to the stress that I didn't really think about it. I always felt like, oh, I'm a pretty relaxed person. I have a pretty relaxed attitude. Meanwhile, I was snapping at my kids all the time, and I was emotionally eating and snacking at nighttime and eating things that I didn't really want to eat, but I felt like I couldn't help myself. And all kinds of other stuff. And so the reality was I was really stressed. And so in my journey to finding a solution to fixing my life, because it felt like my life was just out of control, I came across some processes to really get to the root cause. And I found immediate relief. It felt like, a splinter had been removed from my heart. It felt like weight, 1,000 pounds had lifted off my shoulders just by going through these processes. So I took everything that I had learned and I put it into a system. It's a system to manage stress management system. And if you look it up on Google, I wrote a post about this recently, and somebody was like, I looked up SMS on Google and it came up with some computer term. Okay, this is something that I created. If you look up SMS online, then you're probably not going to find out about stress management systems. I don't even know if anybody else uses that word, but it's so spot on with Recharge and with what my clients are doing with it. It's a system, which means you get reliable, predictable results going through a series of processes, and you have everything covered. We're going to talk about that more lately. I just kind of dove right into that. So yesterday we talked about why it's so important to address stress. Today we're going to talk about what is actually right with stress. You don't want a totally stress-free life. There's a lot of benefits to certain doses of it. Tomorrow we're going to talk about why you should not try to control stress, and why it's better to manage it. And we're going to talk about, after that, what most people do and whether or not those things work, and could work for you. And then we'll talk about my journey and what has worked for me. And then we'll talk about energy management, and what a stress management system actually is. So hello, Talia. So good to see you here. So like I said, stress is actually a good thing. And I was talking with a friend recently about emotions and how emotions are like medicine, and stress it's a type of emotion. It's like an elixir of emotions. Has some fear, has some nervousness, some anxiety, some excitement, has all kinds of things mixed in with it. Also could be really any emotion, even shame and guilt can be an aspect of stress. So stress is like an elixir of emotions, and these emotions can be they can be very motivating, and they can help you to really rapidly shift your life. They can even transform your life if used in the right way, and if used in the right like quantity and timing. So it's like taking a medicine. And of course, that's not what it feels like. It's like you have this stress reaction to things. So it's not like we're intentionally creating the space of stress in order to serve us, right? But stress leads us to growth. You're not going to grow if you don't have an element of stress involved. That stress is actually what causes the growth to happen. It's like when you're lifting weights, you're not going to build a whole lot of muscle until you feel that really stress point where you just want to give up, and then you go a little bit further, right? So a certain amount of stress leads to growth, which is necessary for humans to be happy and to be fulfilled. That growth is absolutely necessary. So along with that comes a certain amount of stress. And a small amount of stress can be really energizing, because stress is it's an invigorating experience. And if we don't have any stress at all, life gets really boring. Like there's no purpose, there's no meaning to life. We just kind of go through the days like nothing really matters, and that's apathy. And so we need it's like the spice of life. We need a certain amount of stress as humans to be like revitalized, and it can be energizing. And a lot of you might be thinking, well, you can get sucked in, or like, you don't want to have too much stress. That can be bad for your body. So how do you know what's the right amount, and what do you even do with this? So you don't want to live in the stress, and that's where stress management comes from. It's a way of dealing with the stress before it comes up, when it inevitably comes up, and the stress that has been in your life from a long time ago. When you were born, you started to build up stress, right? So a lot of us have, or all of us have, stress built up and stored inside of us. So a stress management system is going to address past, present, and future occurrences and buildup of stress. And so these bursts, as you do something new, as you grow and evolve, you have these bursts of stress because you're being pushed, you're being pulled. And what happens to most people is that they don't have a stress management system, and they just pile it on. They internalize it, and eventually, they get sick or they burn out. And so if you're doing this effectively, if you're managing your stress effectively, you will experience the stress for, moments, and then it'll be gone. It'll be transmuted into something else. Okay. So the key to this is not holding on to it, like experiencing it and then moving forward from it. And you can even allow that stress to propel you forward. But it's not going to propel you forward if you are holding on to it and it's like weighing you down. That's the opposite of being propelled forward. So there are a lot of benefits to stress. I mean, that's how we change policies in our nation. That's how we end wars. That's how we give new freedoms to our people. That's how we change our lives. we need to have these moments of stress, like that spiritual 2x4, right? It can be a wake-up call. It can be so transformative. But then we need the stress management system to be able to deal with this like heavy stuff that comes up sometimes, and to be able to deal with the painful things that we naturally want to suppress or ignore. And so it doesn't have that propelling effect when we suppress or ignore them. So tomorrow we're going to talk about some different methods that people use to deal with their stress. And there's like the pills, is the metaphorical pills where you like, okay, you're stressed, you take a deep breath, right? Or you breathe differently, or you move your body, things like that. So we'll talk about all kinds of different ways that people manage their stress. And you're probably doing some of them. You've probably done some of them today. And so it's going to be really fun. And I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to drop your question in the comments. Hey, April. Yeah, so if you have any specific questions about the benefits of stress, like if you really resonate with that, or if that challenges you, just let me know. And again, if you feel like stress is like one of the biggest issues in your life right now, also let me know that. And if you'd like more information about the stress management system, or about how you can start to rise above your emotional state, so you're not like treading water or even drowning as most people are. If you want to like rise above and swim or even soar through your life because you've just got a hold on your emotions and things don't bring you down, things don't trigger you, and you're able to be on top of your game all the time, then let me know and we can see what the next step would be for you. All right. Well, have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll talk soon.